Welcome back. We are continuing the reading of Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. This is chapter 7, part 3. We had a little issue yesterday, but we are continuing on. So let's finish chapter 7 of Thought Vibration, the book Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. Let's go ahead and dive in. Fear, my friends. Fear paralyzes desire. What do you truly want? Are you sure of what you want? Do you know what you want? Are you procrastinating on making decisions to go after what you truly want? If you are, that's okay, but make a decision right now. I heard something the other day that ready is not a feeling, like ready is not something that's going to happen. You're never going to be ready. Ready is a decision. You have to decide you're going to be ready, whether you like it or not. Trust me, she's lived. I've lived a lot, and no matter how much I continue to grow, I can still, I know for me, some people go into fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all that stuff, like the reaction that our nervous system under pressure, under great change goes through. I definitely freeze. I'm a freezer. I will just shut down and freeze. Like, I just feel like there's a fog in my head that I can't compute. And then I will just beat myself up. But she knows better now. I know that tactic is just trying to keep me safe. My body's just trying to keep me safe. But just push through. Again, don't push through when it's time to rest or, a genuine time to recuperate and reflect. But I'm saying if it lasts for more than you have to know yourself. I'm not going to give some prescription because I think people do that too much and it's not helpful because what works for one person won't work for you or other people. Know what works for you. Each person has such an individual curriculum in their life that's why it's so important to know ourselves. It's great to get advice and hear other people's stories, but we have to come to our own conclusion, our own philosophy of life, and it might be similar to others, but some people just struggle more than others. It's just the truth. It's not fair. Is it fair? No, but I always bring up that guy, Jay Glazer, who he struggles with debilitating depression every single day. And you know what? I find that people have a hard time holding space, right? For lack of a better term, with other people's problems. And isn't it interesting? How physical disabilities, like if somebody has some sort of disability, a physical ailment, like they are paralyzed or they're missing some sort of limb and they have to learn to live with the lack of all the limbs or whatever. Nobody walks up to them and says, well, if you just try hard enough, you can walk without assistance. It's like if they do not have a whole leg, they're either going to need a prosthetic, crutches, or whatever. So nobody questions a physical handicap. But when it comes to mental handicaps, which the ones you can't see, meaning struggles, internal struggles, mental health issues, people are so quick. And I used to be this person, and I still can be sometimes. It's uncomfortable to sit with someone suffering. So we try to create solutions. Well, if you just do this, we'll read this book. Well, yes, give suggestions, but it might not work for everybody. There's always an answer. There's always a remedy, I believe, healing in some way internally, or at least better, or a way we can approach it, but it might not be the reason, the way you think it should be. So for example, somebody like Jay Glazer who struggles with, this inner handicap of depression, debilitating depression and suicidality, just this gray, he calls it this darkness. Every day he fights at different levels. But some people, I'm sure in his life, have given him many remedies, like do shock treatment, do microdosing, do ketamine, take turmeric, do yoga, do breathing. I'm sure the man has done everything and he knows himself. But we as a society are horrified at somebody who's suffering because we would not want to suffer ourselves. So we want to fix it, But it's sometimes it just is what it is. Some people are in absolute pain and they're dealing with the best they can, but it's hard because it's uncomfortable for us. I find that. Anyways, that was a tangent I went on. So we all struggle with different levels, and that's why it's so important to know yourself and what works for you. And yes, take helpful advice from other people, but also watch out when you are so quick to think that you know what's best for someone else just because it worked for you. Be gentle. It's always great to give advice, but don't give unsolicited advice. Okay. Don't be given unsolicited advice. All right, fear paralyzes desire. It scares the life out of it. You must get rid of fear. There have been times in my life, this gentleman, William Walker Atkinson, is talking about. There have been many times in my life when fear would get a hold of me and take a good, firm grip on my vitals, and I would lose all hope, all interest, all ambition, all desire. Me too, William Walker Atkinson. This is the truth. Fear would get a hold of me, take a good, firm grip on my vitals, and I would lose all hope, all interest, all ambition, all desire. Has that ever happened to you? Some people are afraid to even admit that. Maybe it doesn't happen for some people. But I don't know anybody who I truly respect who has built a life of true happiness inside and out who hasn't experienced these things. You know, people that are all talk and they have nothing to show for it, or like chaotic results. It's like they in denial. That's just my opinion. Okay. He says that he has fallen into this, losing all hope, all interest, all ambition, all his desire. But thank the Lord, I have always managed to throw off the grip of the monster and face my difficulty like a man. And lo, things would seem to be straightened out for me somehow. Yeah. Back to Jay Glazer, who struggles with depression. He talks about it's a beast that is out to get him every day. He has to put the beast in the box. Sometimes the beast is a little more ornery than, other days. But that's like, again, what Napoleon Hill talks about in Outwitting the Devil. It's like, there is true, I don't believe that there's like a devil with a, fork. It's an energy. It's a darkness. It's fear. The devil is fear. And we all have it within us, light and dark. And the more we allow it to take control, we're going down. It's like the same with addiction. It's like addiction. You can't mess with it. We have to be vigilant. We got to get serious. Either we are going to serve the light or we're going to serve the dark. Either we are going to cultivate hope, strength, desire, love. Is it easy? No. Sometimes it's more easy than other times. But we are not immune to this monster this monster of fear that tries to paralyze us and take us down. Never acquiesce to that. Sometimes it's a fight. It's not always a fight. Sometimes it's easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. But sometimes it's a fight. And it's okay. We live in a world of duality. Sometimes it'll be hard. And I can't stand people who are like, it's always so easy. Don't talk about that. It's like, shut up. Either you haven't truly lived or opened your peepers to struggles that some people have. Maybe you've been denying them, or maybe you don't experience them. Good for you. But some people do, All right. So no matter how great, so he says that I have managed to throw the grip of the monster of fear and face the difficulty. And I somehow straighten things out. Either the difficulty would melt away, or I would be given means to overcome it, or get around, or under it, or over it. It is strange how this works. No matter how great is the difficulty, when we finally face it with courage and confidence in ourselves, we seem to pull through somehow, and when we begin to wonder what we were scared about, So no matter how great it is, the difficulty, like when you find yourself just in a hole or like in a really tough place, like a funk, so to speak, no matter how hard it is, when we finally face it with courage and confidence in ourselves, remember who you are. Call upon all of the forces. Pray, your higher power. Ask for help. Go to therapy. Whatever you need. Remember your strength. Borrow someone else's strength and confidence in you and faith. And you seem to pull through. And then we look back and say, oh, why was I even scared in the first place? We laugh at it and we've moved through it if we persist. This is not a mere fancy. It is the working of a mighty law, which we do not as of yet fully understand, but which we may prove at any time. People often ask, it's all very well for you New Thought people to say, don't worry, but what's a person to do when he thinks of all the possible things ahead of him which might upset him and his plans. Well, all that I can say is that the man is foolish to bother about thinking of troubles to come at some time in the future. The majority of things that we worry about don't come to pass at all. A large portion of the others come in a milder form than we had anticipated, and there are always other things which come at the same time which help us to overcome the trouble. Yeah, it's like, what are you expecting? Do you expect the worst things, worst case scenarios to happen? Murphy's Law, whatever. It can all happen. If the terrible bad things can happen, the amazing, miraculous good things too, in equal, frequency. Someone was talking about, or I was reading, when we find ourselves going in a downward spiral, if we can go and start thinking the worst case scenarios and worrying and fearing and going in a downward spiral, if we can do that in our mind, we can also go on an upward spiral. Be grateful, be positive, think of the best case scenarios. I don't remember the woman's name, but the what if upping, like what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? What if up it? Like be positive. What if the best thing happens? Is that being stupid? No. But why? But some people think it's stupid. You're just an idiot. You're just not preparing for the worst. People think it's responsible to prepare for the worst. And you can think about the worst case scenario, but don't dwell on it. Like, if this happens, okay, I got this covered, but I'm only focusing on the good. Whatever works for you. But we never question people worrying. We never call them stupid because we've been so programmed to focus on the negative. The majority of things that we worry about never come to pass. And if they do, they're so much milder than we ever anticipated. The future holds in store for us not only difficulties to overcome, but also agents to help us overcome the difficulties. Things adjust themselves. We are prepared for any trouble which may come upon us, and when the time comes, we somehow find ourselves able to meet it. Yeah, even if the worst case scenario happens, say, come at me, bro, I can handle it. I'll find a way through it. I don't care. I'm going to go after what I want. I don't care what's going to happen. It's not going to stop me. And that's what fear tries to do. Fear tries to stop us from going after our desires. All right. God not only tempers the wind to the shorn lamb. What is that? God not only tempers the wind to the shorn lamb, but he also tempers the shorn lamb to the wind. What does that mean? Let's look it up. I don't think I've ever read that word. Shorn. Do you guys know what that means? Shorn. 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 The heck? Oh, there's no E. Shorn. It's a word. Oh, it's past tense. To have been sheared. So, we shear a lamb of its hair. Bald. The bald lamb. God not only tempers the wind to the bald lamb, to the shorn lamb, but he also tempers the shorn lamb to the wind. The wind and the shearing do not come together. There is usually enough time for the lamb to get seasoned, and then he generally grows new wool before the cold blast comes. It has been well said that 9/10 of the worries are over things which never come to pass, and that the other 10th is over things of little or no account. Ain't that the truth? So what's the use of using all of your reserve force and fretting over future troubles if this is so? Better wait until your troubles really come before you worry. That reminds me, I think it was in the book Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, when he was talking about, just the natural ebbs and flows of life and just the duality of life, about like, yeah, there's times when we're like on our mountaintops and there's times when we're in our valleys. There's peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows. We can't always be up, right? But how we navigate the ups and the downs, it can be fantastically. We can enjoy the downs, like resting, leaning into them, learning, making the best of them. Because as I've said in the past, like as a therapist, working with people who are grieving the loss of a loved one or a broken heart, we can go through heartbreak in many different ways. But like in the extremes, like we can go through heartbreak absolutely thinking the worst case scenarios, that believing all of the lies, like I am unworthy, I'm not good enough, comparing ourselves, I'm never going to find anybody again. Or this is a part of life. I loved this person. It didn't work out. It really sucks. I'm not denying my pain, but I know I'm worthy and I'm going to heal from this and I'll find someone in the future. But right now, I am just being honest with myself and getting through it, spending time with my friends and family and healing and reading books and working on myself, right? We can go through heartbreak disempowered or empowered. It's not going to change the heartbreak, right? We're still going to be grieving. But the way we see ourselves makes all the difference. But back to what Matthew McConaughey was saying, green lights, how we deal with, he's like, when you're on a high, revel in it. Don't prepare for the lows before they come. They're going to come. But don't force yourself to go downhill. Like, ride it as high as you can. Like, trust me, the downhill is going to come. And that's like the good times prepare us for that, you know? It's like winter time, you know, like spring and harvest season. The good times are when everything's flowing and we're storing away for the cold and the winter, like winter is coming. And when the down times come, we had such a beautiful spring and harvest time. We don't have to worry because we're prepared and we have enough to ride along through the valleys. So better wait until your troubles really come before you worry. Yeah, save your worry for when you need to, or your down times, or whatever. You will find that by this storing up of energy, you will be able to meet about any sort of, that's exactly what I just said. I love you, William Walker Atkinson. You will find that by storing up of energy, of the good times, you will be able to meet any sort of trouble that comes your way. That's the truth. I needed that lesson. Wow, it's just so beautiful. What is it that uses up all the energy in the average man or woman anyway? It is the real overcoming of difficulties. Is it the real overcoming of difficulties or the worrying about impending troubles? It's always tomorrow, tomorrow. And yet tomorrow never comes just as we feared it would. Right? Tomorrow doesn't ever come because it's always right now. Tomorrow is all right. It carries in its grip good things as well as troubles. Bless my soul when I sit down and think over the things which I once feared might possibly descend upon me. I laugh. Where are those feared things now? I don't know. I have almost forgotten that I ever feared them. Yeah. You do not need to fight worry. That isn't the way to overcome the habit. Just practice concentration and then learn to concentrate upon something right before you, and you will find that the worry thought has vanished. Yeah, you don't have to fight worry. Just practice concentration. That's all of us. Like when we learn how to manage, regulate our thoughts, focus, use that faculty of the will to shift our focus to what we want, you've won life, truly. Life is an inside job. Whatever you focus on with emotion, you will attract. That is like a universal law, period. Call it, people have so many different ways, beautiful ways of describing it because everybody has a different way of understanding and they are, resonate with different teachers. So it's all good. It's all good. But whatever you think about, as Earl Nightingale says, most of the time you become. A man becomes what he thinks about most of the time. And what we think about, what we dwell on with emotion is what we will become or what we will experience. And if right now you are in a negative thought loop, because I certainly am thrown into the basement, the emotional basement, and then I will start getting caught up in that, the tornado, the whirlwind. You know what it's like? Remember those, do they still exist? It was called the UFO. It was, you go in and the disc spins so fast and you get stuck to the wall and like you can't even like lift your arm up because like the gravity's holding you. Oh God, that was so gross. I don't think anybody threw up when I was in there. Anyways, but it's like we get stuck in this cycle. It's spinning so fast with worry, with doubt, with fear that we can't move. We have to wait it out for the ride to be over. And it's like we're just stuck there. And the more we think about it, the more momentum it just keeps getting. Can you imagine? I mean, cheese and crackers. So don't fight it. Just practice concentration. What are you focused on? Because you will get caught, stuck to the wall, so to speak, of this thought loop. And it'll be hard because it gains momentum and it's hard to get off of it and stop it. Peel yourself off the wall and rise to higher floors and frequencies. So really guard your heart and your mind. Be vigilant. That's what I'm very black and white about it. We live in a black and white world. We do. It's a world of duality. We live in a black and white world. And it's helpful to be black and white about certain things. And it's helpful to be in that gray area and be able to hold the duality of both the black and the white. And that's not easy. But when it comes to your thoughts, when it comes to your thinking, be very black and white. Don't go around with the gray. I see people do that. I used to do that. I could still do that. Like I'm teetering. Either I have faith in myself or I'm in fear. It's black and white. You are either in faith or fear. Period. Just be really honest with yourself. Just practice concentration and then learn to concentrate upon something right before you, and you will find that the worry thought has vanished. The mind can think of but one thing at a time. And so, yeah, the mind can only think of one thing at a time. It can't think of two things at a time. And that's when you get into that gray area zone. Again, in the grander scheme, I'm not talking about like our ability to, because life is nuanced and to be able to understand both. But to be honest, I don't think we ever are really in the gray. We are either in one side or another at any given moment. And I think we get into trouble when we try to think that we're doing both at the same time. The mind can think of but one thing at a time. And if you concentrate upon a bright thing, the other thing will fade away. There are better ways of overcoming objectionable thoughts than by fighting them. Learn to concentrate upon thoughts of an opposite character, and you will have solved the problem. People would say, oh, that just sounds so simple. It is very simple, but it's not easy. Because again, we're in that momentum. We got to peel ourselves off and start a new cycle. When the mind is full of worry thoughts, it cannot find time to work out plans to benefit you. Yeah, it's like when the mind is in the basement, it can't get penthouse plans. You got to be in the penthouse for that in your mind, and then you will end up there physically, metaphorically. But when you have concentrated upon bright, helpful thoughts, you will discover that it will start to work subconsciously, and when the time comes, you will find all sorts of plans and methods by which you will be able to meet the demands upon you. Keep your mental attitude right, and all things will be added unto you. There's no sense in worrying. Nothing has ever been gained by it, and nothing ever will be. Bright, cheerful, and happy thoughts attract bright, cheerful, and happy things to us. Worry drives them away. Cultivate the right mental attitude. We did it, y'all. That was chapter 7 of Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. We will continue chapter 8, which is titled The Law of Mental Control. Yes, we all need that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience with yesterday's shortened version. If you've missed any of the previous readings, they are all on the playlists, on the YouTubes, under each book that I'm reading. Right now we're doing Thought Vibration, and we have a great community over there. So share some of your takeaways. What are you learning? What's your favorite part about this? Any questions? I love you all so much. Thank you for your love and support. I just got an email today from YouTube's. Let's read it together. I think I took a screenshot. Anyways, it's YouTube creators. Look at what it says. Carla Elizondo, you're one of our top uploaders. And then it says, oops, what did I just push? Poop. It says, keep it up, Carla. We ran the numbers and you're crushing it. Since the program started, you've been a content powerhouse, and we've noticed. Your upload frequency has been remarkable. To put it into perspective, you've uploaded more content than 80% of your fellow partners, placing you in the top 20% of the program. Thank you. Oh, look at my green screen. It's disappearing. What's going on here? Did I take away my green screen? Let's work this out together. Settings. You're going to see the green screen. Do I not have my virtual? I think I unchecked the green screen. No, I didn't. Let's reset it. This is how I reset it. Ready? Oh, the magic is gone. The Wizard of Oz has been revealed. Did that help? Yeah, it helped a little bit. Sometimes I have to like recalibrate it. You want to go to the beach? We're in Hawaii. What are we doing here? Look at the waves. I need to go somewhere tropical. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, there were statistics about creators. If you're somebody who wants to start a podcast, a YouTube channel, put your content out there, and you think that it's oversaturated, let me just tell you, there are billions, 1, 2, 3 billion people on each platform. Out of all of those billions, do you know that only 1% out of the billions of people actually create content? The rest consume. So if you have a message that you want to put out there, if you have a message you want to share, if you have something you want to teach, an interest that you want to make content about, do it. If it's in your heart, you don't have to do it perfectly. Just start. Climb that cringe mountain, as we call it. Only 1% of the actual users of any social media are producing content regularly. Only 1%. It's amazing. Anyways, I love you all. Let's get back to a regular background. Which background did I have? Oh, it was the white. Remember the penthouse? The penthouse frequency? Remember that? Remember Paris? I went there. I did. It was fantastic. Let's sit in a throne. You want some drama? Sitting in my throne. Here's another Game of Thrones room. This is epic. Did I do this? This is something else. How fun is this? How fun is this? This is one of my favorite backgrounds. I would have my house like this. This was gorgeous. I remember some people were like, oh my God, your house is so beautiful. I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a classic though. No, this is a classic. There we go. That's a classic. All right, everybody. I love you so much. Have a beautiful afternoon.